I absolutely love this topic. I'm a projector, so this is not that I know this whole thing firsthand, but I am so in a rabbit hole of learning, exploring, observing, discussing. This is one of my little passion topics. Why? Because even though I think that we are designed in a perfect way for each one of us to fulfill our purpose within this life's journey, sometimes, occasionally, I am jealous as a projector that I don't have this sacral response. And this is what I'm talking about in this video today. What is sacral response? What is the sacral response mechanism? I just got off the marketing blueprint by design call with a client who was very unfamiliar with human design. So this is one of the very first sort of ways for her to discover the system. So obviously she's just getting information. She's not living her design yet. And by living one's design, all we mean is just gaining awareness. For example, with your sacral center as a generator type, manifesting generator, you're here to respond to the stimuli on the outside. And this is the part that I'm jealous of, because when you learn to observe your body and then you start determining how your body responds yes and no in very specific and unique ways to you, you're equipped now to take on anything, right? That's such a treasure. It's such a power. And I'm jealous, as a projector. Yes, I have my spleen. I'm a splenic authority. The spleen is nothing like sacral. The spleen can say, whisper something in your ear, once. And if you don't follow it, it just doesn't have this consistency. Whereas with the sacral, this is an everyday and all the time, an indication, literally like a GPS, like this is the right direction, this is the wrong direction. There's the expansion of energy, I feel I have energy for this, or I don't have energy for this. And I can see that because it's very physical. It's literally your body talking to you. So your mind might not even notice these things about your body, but you could be like quivering your lips, or doing something with your mouth. My mom, I can talk to my mom and I can ask her something, and the answer is from her body language is an obvious no. She'd just go like, but she says, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, no, mom, you just had a response. Your whole body is saying no. So my mom is in her 80s and there's no way I'm going to impose the human design living on her. And you can't, on anyone. But if you are into this, right? If you were coming to human design, you might be even learning about human design, but you haven't been living it. And this is the whole thing. It's not a dogma. It's just like a map, right? You can go and overthink things. It actually happens in our driving. Very often I would find myself in a foreign country and I wouldn't be driving, but there's a GPS that says, okay, if you want to get from A to B, usually these situations happened when we were coming back to the airport and we're looking for the car park for the rental car to drop the car parks, and they're somewhere in like off the beaten track. So we would trust the GPS, but the GPS sometimes it's not right. So, or sometimes it takes you to a road and it's a one-way street and, it thinks it's a two-way street. So there's always this kind of suspicion that it's going to get you into trouble. It's not bringing you where you want to be. You're going in circles, because you're actually overthinking it. And so what happens, and in most of these times, that exactly what happened is that we were overthinking and panicking and making hard decisions instead of actually slowing down, tuning in, and trying to understand what specific turn is it asking us to take. And usually we would miss that little turn that would bring us into the entrance to that, drop-off place. It's so funny to me, actually, even to think about it, because this is exactly what happens with the, for example, sacral responses, and then people, generators that I know in my life or, work with online, and I can see that. And I'm laughing not at these people, I love them dearly. I'm laughing at the irony of how the mind just jumps in and starts overthinking, being frustrated, resisting the flow. But the flow is right there. All you have to do is gain awareness. It's kind of like working out. If you're not like a fitness fanatic, right? So you haven't exercised for a while, and then you go and you do some sort of lunges and, or some sort of sit-ups. And then next day, and I'm sure you've been there. I usually have the next day, I'd be like, ooh, I didn't know I have that in my butt because I feel this muscle that I never feel. I sit on my butt all day, every day, and I never feel that little muscle. But then I go on and I exercise it a little bit, and bam, it gets like, lets me know it's there. How interesting. And then if you take it to the kind of pro level, bodybuilders, how can they feel and tense and be in control of these muscles that we normal people, we can't even feel that they're there, right? So in a way, you can, and it's possible for you to become that bodybuilder level of awareness of your sacral, but you have to start observing it. That's all it requires. My challenge to you, and the guidance as a projector, have a diary. It could be even like a calendar in your phone, or some sort of like a diary. If you have the daily missions, I have my daily missions, for example. You could be writing there a little bit. What sensations? Every day something happens that requires your attention. Do you have energy for this or not? What is a specific sensation in your body, and how would you describe it when it's a yes, and then you feel an expansion and available energy for this, and you have the energy for this, and you really like what you're doing, and you're feeling this, what we call a satisfaction of doing it, or being in the role that you're playing. That's kind of real lovely grounding feeling. Versus when you don't want to do things, you feel dead inside. It's like it's exhausting. But the body, when you were presented with this on the outside, with the need to start, the body responded to no. You need to write these things down. You might even need like a week of observation. You might need 2 weeks. You might get into this just to really, really master it. Because it's like with everything. The more we pay attention to it, the more we notice it next time. So you want to get to a state where you instantly recognize these sensations. And there's different aspects in different people's human design that just give these physical sensations. For example, for me, because I have a taste determination and taste cognition, open determination, which is taste, ninja level, like ignore if it's gibberish to you. But anyway, it gives me this metallic taste in my mouth. When literally in my neck here, I would feel like it's like these two lines become kind of metallic and tangy and just go like this. So when I'm saying something that is a no, that is incorrect, it could be that something's happening in the incorrect timing, or something is just incorrect for me. That's where I feel this tanginess. Yeah, that's where I feel it. So my body physically lets me know. I didn't know of that before, and somebody paid my attention, a human design expert paid my attention to it, and ever since I've been noticing it. And I even know that I can be recording a video and I can go off topic, and that sense tells me, that I'm off topic. It tells me that something I'm saying is incorrect. How interesting is that? So for you, your goal is to start experiencing your sacral, because this sacral response opens up, if it's a yes, the access to what your sacral center in human design, or that chakra, that center is your access to the life force. The life force is that fire in your belly, that sparkle, that passion that keeps you going, the thing that gives you the reason to get up and feel so good about yourself. Because as a generator, your existential question is, who am I? So for you, it's all about feeling good about yourself. That is a correct, proper thing for you to align everything in your life with. It's not about other people. I know it sounds not like what you believe, because that's how you were brought up, but it's true. It's not about other people, it's about you. Let me be the one who gives you the permission to make everything in this life about you and that feeling of satisfaction, because you are here to experience the full alignment, which will show in satisfaction in where you are, what you're doing, who you're with, but you have to put yourself first. And in order to really get there, right, without overthinking, without the mental rationalizing and doing things as they should be done, because that's your worst enemy, trust me on that, it's listening to your sacral response. So I've written an article which kind of breaks down what sacral response is, but I wanted to also record this, just talking about this, because I think it's such a beautiful gift for a generator type. And when you are satisfied, my wonderful generator, what happens is that you have a very porous kind of aura. It's easy to penetrate. That's why, the stimuli from the outside that you're responding to, your aura is designed for these stimuli to penetrate very easily. But it's also what you're feeling is leaking, like pumped through that aura into the world. So when you are frustrated, this is what you're contributing to the world. But when you're satisfied, it's such a pleasure to be in your space. It's such a pleasure to have these generators who are happy with who they are, right? Aligned within themselves. Imagine this could be a perfect world because 70%, and probably more, of the population of this world is generator types, but most of them are frustrated. So let's change that 1% at a time. Let's watch your sacral and let's follow its guidance. And if it's a no, learn to say no. People who are not aligned with you, maybe they should be let go of, right? If your no's is something that they're not happy with. But your yeses is where your alignment, where what's correct for you, where you're going to feel joyful, where you're going to feel relaxed in the flow. How wonderful is that? That's what I wish for you. If you want to read this article and you're watching this video on YouTube, for example, just check the description of this video. Other than that, you're probably on that page. I'd love to hear from you. Have you been following your sacral responses? What does your sacral response feel like? This is what I'd really love to know.